Hello and welcome. And I'm really pleased today we have Dr. DWAIN Neil OBE, Chairman of Reach Society. So I'm not sure if I'm predicting something for you, DWAIN. How are you?
I am fine, Rudy. Lovely to be in conversation with you again. I'm not sure what you mean by predicting anything for me, but every now and then, some slips are meant to happen.
So great to see you. It's Windrush 78 this year, and and I'm really pleased that the you continue to do innovative work as it relates to the broader Windrush agenda. And so this year, 2026, in fact, is the start of the Sir Geoff Palmer Era, year one. So can you outline for us the rationale for the description and what are the expected outcomes for this new initiative?
Indeed. Rudy, as you know, and listeners and viewers will know, I'm the chairman of Reach Society, and we specialize in inspiring young people. And we've been doing that since 2010. And of course, you'll also know that we celebrated our 15th year milestone pretty much throughout the whole of last year. But during that year of celebration, sadly, we lost Sir Geoff Palmer, who was our patron for 10 years. And we got to know him very well, and we got to understand not only his life story, but his legacy. So we took the decision after his passing to honor him by doing two very distinct things. And I'm hoping I'll talk about the Sir Geoff Palmer Award much later. But also, we are using his life story and his contribution in all of our inspiration events with young people. So, taking those two halves together, it seemed entirely right to describe this year as the start of the Sir Geoff Palmer era, and this would be the first year of it. So that is the context that is leading our 16th year to be labelled as the Sir Geoff Palmer era, year one.
In addition, of course, this month you've launched an app. So tell us why.
Oh, absolutely. The app was an idea that was in conversation with members of the leadership team from about the middle of last year. And we were having to look at that closely as a project because, as folks will be aware, we are now routinely engaging with young people and community groups across the UK. We regularly go to Manchester, we regularly go to Luton, we regularly do work in Birmingham, and of course, we're fully established in London, so much so that we have started another careers conference in Croydon, and that will be rolled out at the end of March. So the idea of the app was to allow everyone who's aware of us, young people and adults, to be connected with us in some efficient way. An app, once downloaded onto your phone, means that you have that with you wherever you are, anywhere in the country, or indeed anywhere in the world. And so that was the thinking that led us to developing the app and launching it this month. And I'm hoping, Rudy, you too have downloaded it onto your phone. I know
Absolutely.
everyone on the management team has.
Yes, indeed. I made sure before we came on today that the app was there.
Yeah. And indeed, the app, high level means that anyone can see what events we're rolling out as we go through the year. They will also see information about significant people who are involved with us. Our patrons are big hitters. It gives you their images and their profiles.
It's
We've
very
also
good.
got the management team that's shown there. We have a number of volunteer role models who've agreed to profile their biographies and their images. But since 2013, when President Nelson Mandela passed, we have been showcasing significant Black people from not just the UK, but from around the world on our homepage. So, what you will see are the many people since 2013 that we have been honouring on the homepage of our website. So, there's quite a lot of information. Folks who are aware of the Durham STEP program will know that we are in close working relations with Durham University, and we've taken that project from 20 year 12 Black pupils up to over 250 last year who get involved in that summer school,
Yeah.
and that university is looking to increase the number again this year. So you'll see information about that. So at any point, anyone who wants to get a sense of what Reach Society are doing and have been doing, the app gives you access to all of that information.
Okay. So you've given us an overview of the various events around the country. And that kind of leads us then to the cultural esteem events. Could you say a bit more about those?
Well, if I were to pull it all together, I would say just about everything that Reach Society is doing contributes to cultural esteem, contributes to our cultural pride, showing that within our community, we are taking full responsibility for our affairs. So, by looking at the app, anyone can see the full range of things that we are, as Reach Society, taking responsibility for because we know it makes sense and we also know it's necessary. So, under that label of cultural esteem, I would put every single one of our inspirational events. I would put every single one of our community focused events, like the Windrush Day Thanksgiving gathering, where we host a gathering of multi generational people from our community to celebrate Windrush Day. And just to put that into nice context, last year we honoured nurses, leading educators, and leaders within the faith community. This year we should be honouring our young people in Key Stage 2 through to Key Stage 4. And those young people are going to be writing essays to share how a visit to the National Windrush Monument has inspired them to write their essay. And so
What
the
age group is
leading
that?
one, yeah, Key Stage 2, you're about 8, going on through to about 11,
Primary
top
school.
end of primary school. But Key Stages 3 and 4 are the two key stages in secondary education. Once you're outside of Key Stage 4, you're in what we would call in the old days the sixth form, and that will be, year 12 and year 13. So it's going to straddle pretty much most of secondary education and the top end of primary school. But the most important part of that Windrush essay competition is to get our young people to understand the significance of the monument, get our young people to understand how their family members are connected to that monument, to understand where they sit in that continuum of esteem.
Okay.
And so I take no credit for that essay. It was actually suggested by our most recent patron, Sir Kenneth Olisa, who most people who will know his name will also know he's the Lord Lieutenant of Greater London. And he has a connection with the monument. And when we were talking earlier towards the middle of last year, he said, I like the idea of the Windrush Day Thanksgiving gathering. Have you thought about making a connection with the National Windrush Monument?
Mhm.
And that was the trigger.
Yeah, great.
We discussed it within our team and we decided we were going to develop and roll out the essay competition. So that'll be a big feature within the gathering, along with the storytelling that we have from the multi-generational presence in the room.
Yeah, that's great. The netcons, I think we should mention that because I think they've had a big impact over the years. So you've got 3 face-to-face and 7 online this year.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to echo a little bit more about the monthly networking conversations because, in short order, they have been getting bigger and bigger over time
Mm.
as more people within our community are aware of them. And where we have them as virtual networking conversations around a theme, people can readily post their interest by, registering for it. What is very interesting about the first NetCon this year is that it aligns with our 150th NetCon. And if folks connect that with what I said at the beginning, Reach Society was founded in 2010. And for every year since then, we have rolled out 10 networking conversation in each year. And as such, we have done 15th year, and this is the start of our 16th year. So it just, coincides that the January NetCon of this year will be our 150th. And there we will be looking at agency and change makers and getting those who know that they are change makers to talk about why and how, and also engage in conversation. And we will be doing that in the city of all times on Friday of this week.
Okay.
So we continue to raise the awareness of things that are important to our community in and through the netcons, but it's also an opportunity for anyone who wants to become a role model to make contact with our directors who are leading the representation programs. Because what happens through that program is that they hear about how they can become role models. They would be trained in our EDIALS methodology, which we developed many years ago,
Yeah.
and it then helps them to be effective role models at our inspiration event. So the netcons are very, very important in terms of awareness building and connecting with the wider community.
At the top of this dialogue, we mentioned about Sir Geoff Palmer, this being the era, the beginning. So, of course, we have the Sir Geoff Palmer Award, 24th of October, honouring an exceptional person within the UK Black community. Would you like to give us a bit more detail about that?
Yes, thank you for that opportunity, Rudy, because as we said, as you quite rightly called attention to, this is our first year of the Sir Geoff Palmer era. And so, in all of the events that I've already described, um, his life story and his contribution will be featured in one form or another. But in addition to that, we will be continuing that which we started last October, which is to honour an exceptional person in the Black community who has made a huge contribution I would say, to national level. And if they have impacted beyond the UK, more's the better. Last year, when we awarded the very first Sir Geoff Palmer Award, it was presented to Professor Kevin Fenton.
Right.
And for folks who kept up with what was going on during COVID, I know both of us did, Rudy.
Outstanding work.
He was front and center in informing the community about the importance of vaccinating to protect themselves from this virus for which we had no immunity.
Yeah.
And he has been a speaker at our careers conference, and he has spoken at our awards dinners. So he was a very worthy recipient of the inaugural Sir Geoff Palmer Award. And this year, we are doing the same. And in fact, in as many future years as we can, we will be rolling out the award. But this year, we're doing it slightly differently. We have now got agreement from our 5 patrons that they will be nominating outstanding people from our community, and those nominations will go onto the shortlist, and our panel will then select which of that cohort will be receiving the Sir Geoff Palmer Award in October at the Recognition Awards dinner. So we want to use that as a reminder by attaching the award to Sir Geoff's name.
Yeah,
and of course, every time we do that, we will remind the audience of his value. Most people on this call may already know that he was the inventor of the barley abrasion process, but perhaps what they won't know is that that process has made hundreds of millions of pounds for this country since the late 60s when he developed it. And that process has actually raised the reputation and standing of Heriot-Watt University because it's attracted millions of investments into that university to create the distilling and brewing center of excellence where people come from all over the world to learn about his technology and his methodology for brewing. So, his legacy is a living thing. It is still a part of Heriot-Watt University. He's a patron of ours, and we believe that his value and his worth is still alive and with us.
Absolutely, the spirit goes on. So, DWAIN, just before we conclude this particular dialogue, for those people who are interested, where do they make contact with Reach Society?
As always, anyone can contact the Society through our email address, which is simply info@reachsociety.com. However, now that we have the Reach Society app, if you have the app on your phone, it's very easy to know what's going on and then reach out through that email address, because that is all over the app so that you can easily connect and ask questions or whatever. So it couldn't be easier. Our website is still there and it is connected to our app. So we now believe we've made it extremely easy for anyone who wants to find out about something we're doing or who wants to be involved in something we're doing to reach out to us.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and see you again soon.
Indeed, Rudy, it's a pleasure as always. Take care.
Thank you.